flying through the Himalayas to Ladakh, the territory of northern India, now part of Jammu and Kashmir, that for many years was western Tibet. The majestic mountains gleaming in the morning sun as our flight from Delhi descends. The temperature in Leh is around -4, but as the sun shines it will get a little warmer. The $100 flight transporting us to a part of India that is quite unlike any other. At 11,500 feet, short on oxygen, the terrain indicating it's short on rain too. I come here almost every year, and even after many visits, I feel a sense of excitement as we drive in from the airport. Leh is still recovering from the floods of 2010. Our hotel, the Lasermo, is the hotel I've stayed in on every visit. So we have arrived in the Lasermo Hotel. It's about probably just above zero, but we have beautiful sunshine, blue, clear skies. We're sitting out here in the courtyard. We have our Ladakhi scarf, and in a moment we'll have some masala chai. The Lasermo is a typical Ladakhi structure with decorative Chinese characters and wooden windows and balconies. Rooms are spacious, and a recent renovation has made it even better. It has a nice feel to it, and the staff are excellent. At this time of the year, we usually have a little snow on the mountain tops, and though not so green as summer, is very picturesque. At this altitude, the skies are usually very clear. The view from the window or the rooftop is stunning. The mix of white walls and wood gives the hotel a unique feel to it, and it's a favorite place of filmmakers. I've met several here. First stop, as usual, is the Shanti Stupa for some great views over the city. We passed the ancient Leh Palace on the way. After the flooding, they're beautifying the whole of the town. It's early November, and the place is closing up for the winter, so we had a quick look around what was left open. There are some interesting sights, and Leh is a great tourist venue. It has a great history and many fascinating buildings. Then on to Shanti Stupa. Though on reaching there, the weather was clouding over a little. This is a Buddhist shrine set on a hill overlooking the town. I have to say that I was disappointed we did not get the usual deep blue skies, but it's nevertheless a great place to visit. Then back into Leh for lunch at the Summer Harvest Tibetan restaurant, the best in town, with Indian, Kashmiri, Italian, and continental cuisine, not to mention Ladakhi and Tibetan. After a very nice meal, we went southeast to visit some of the sights on the Manali road. Even the scenery here is different. First stop the ancient Shey Palace, about 20 minutes out of Leh, which was the summer capital of Ladakh in the past. In ruins now, it was first built in 1655 by the King of Ladakh and was used as a summer retreat. We then continued east to visit Thikse Monastery, which is noted for its resemblance to the Potala Palace in Tibet, and is the largest Gompa in central Ladakh. It's the one that's most featured in guidebooks and films about Ladakh, and though I've visited many times, this was the first time I've actually been inside. So we climbed up to the top, where there are commanding views over the mountains and the Indus River Valley. It's certainly a very different place to visit, in the midst of unusual scenery. Next morning we decided to go west to Alchi. It was another beautiful day, though in November it's getting quite cold. The joy of going west for the day is that out and back the sun is behind us, and that makes for colourful shots. The newly paved road providing a smooth ride in India for once. The glacial rivers so green, the sky so blue, the vegetation a little parched. Maybe that should be very parched. It is a desert after all, and little grows away from the paths of rivers and streams. Ladakh means the land of high passes. Geographically, it's a high-altitude desert, the Himalayas creating a rain shadow by forming a barrier to monsoon clouds. The main source of water is the snow which falls on the mountains and melts. Even so, at altitudes of 10 to 14,000 feet, the growing season is only a few months long every year. In modern times, the economy has therefore shifted and has become dependent upon tourism and the Indian Army stationed here. This is the point where the Indus River is joined by the Zanskar River, the road on the left being the new Zanskar Road. Zanskar is one of the remotest places on Earth. For centuries, the only way in and out in winter was when the river froze. Every year here, a 40-mile highway is created in the middle of winter by the frozen river. Leh was for centuries an important stopover on trade routes along the Indus River Valley between Tibet to the east, Kashmir to the west, India to the south, and China to the north. When I look at the scenery today, I imagine it's changed very little over the centuries, apart from the telegraph poles and paved road. Though a desert, the colors are striking. Brown hills, green hills, yellow hills and red hills. The inevitable white stupas. Snow-capped mountains. Green-blue glacial rivers. And golden trees. We finally reached Alchi village, an ancient site containing the Alchi Monastery, a Buddhist monastery known more as a complex of temples, and at this time of the year, very colourful. We walked down the narrow path, surrounded by golden trees, some of which had already yielded their apples and apricots. Their leaves now giving us a warm hue and a golden brown carpet to walk on. The monastery has an admission price of $1 and was built about 1,000 years ago. The place is clearly Buddhist. Right on the banks of the sacred Indus River. The Lama going through his prayer ritual as we greeted him. It's also where Lama Rinchen Zangpo's walking stick was planted and grew into a tree.
I'm standing in the Indus River Valley, taking a ride out into Ladakh from Leh. The scenery absolutely beautiful. We've stopped off at what they call a model village called Alchi, and we've seen an ancient Buddhist monastery there and walked through the place. Very, very interesting. And we're about now to go up into the hills and look at another monastery in the hills that has a giant Buddha there. So we're really enjoying our time here.
Likir is a short ride away in the mountains. A dam on the river now supplies hydroelectric power to the region. The monastery was first built in the 11th century, but rebuilt in the 18th century, and has a 25-foot tall Buddha statue. some very colorful buildings, and breathtaking views over the mountains. The centerpiece is the gold-covered Buddha. As the sun began to set and the temperature began to drop, we returned to Leh. Time to leave the awesome Himalaya and return to the plains.
We're in the airport in Ladakh. Been a great time. We've had great views, seen great scenery, and enjoyed every minute. Now about to fly back to New Delhi.
Even as the plane takes off, and I think all the shots are in the bag, the view out of the plane window is almost a religious experience, where the majesty of God's creation adds another dimension to the experience of Ladakh. When God made this place, He was showing off. All I can say is wow.